Tonight we have a police officer resigning, Louis Aponte. I believe he is moving, if I remember right, from the chief. So do we have a motion to thank Officer Aponte for working for us and accept his resignation?
So moved.
Dan makes it. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Roy. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and just a little background on Officer Aponte. He previously served as a first grade detective for the New York City Police Department, and joined us in August of 2018. He worked as a school resource officer at Prispel Middle School and occasionally in the elementary schools. Did a fantastic job in those jobs there. Helped establish our school resource officer program over at the schools, and the chief, along with the rest of the town of Crawford Police Department and town board, wishing him the best of a long, happy, healthy retirement. Okay, from the town of Crawford building department for December 2020. We had one family permit, 4 renovations, 1 commercial renovation, 24 permits, 19 COs, 80 inspections, municipal searches, 1,625, revenue, 5,660. For the month, we received 7,285. For the year, believe it or not, we received 120,994 versus the year before 122,568. So despite the pandemic, people are moving to the town of Crawford. We welcome them, and the revenue was only down slightly. Within the next 2 weeks, I should have the numbers out to everybody for last year's budget. It's not as bad as we thought. The sales tax revenue is not down as bad as we thought. So I'm hoping that is came through from the online purchases in the county, but I'll have an update and we'll be able to go over everything at next month's meeting. Okay, from the Pine Bush Water and Sewer Department, for the sewer department, task completed with a sampling and testing, DEC sampling, responded to calls. There were 11 sewer septic tank pump outs, an average of 0.181 million, I guess 0.81 million gallons per day. Skirt on clarifier 1 collapsed. Dan Wittenberg is currently working on that. He also swapped out a rotor gearbox, and he worked on another rotor box. We did have a water main break over the weekend. He came in and fixed that for us, so we were back up and running fairly quick. From the water department, we did the daily well checks and sampling, coliform sampling, yearly samples, the DOH reporting, responded to residents' calls concerning water issues. 4 meters were changed. There were 45 resident call outs. They did the dig safely markouts. We had 3,162,759 gallons treated for the month. The chlorine residual was 1.29. We flushed some more lines, and we did the water meeting reads. We are working, there's 53 new cellular meters that were put in. By the way, there is a total of 639 meters. So because of COVID, we still have a fair number of them that are broken. 7 out of 60 have been repaired for actual broken meters. On hydrants, we got hydrant 28 has a crack in the head. 22 and 35 had a tough time opening. They're now okay. And hydrant 51's leaking from the bottom there. I called Dan Wittenberg on that, and he is investigating that. The town engineer, McGoey and Hauser, is working with the town water operator on a study of the dead ends, and also on the green sand filter. So Councilman Flanick is working along with them on the green sand filters, and we should have specs back if we decide to go out to bid on the green sand filters. I did talk to both Larry Marshall and Jim Wild. It looks like the Du Bois well up there has 90 gallons on one, 50 on the other. There's a slight bit of sulfur on the one. Both Larry Marshall and Jim Wild think it's a very minor one in the contact management of the pipes. By the time we bring it into town, it'll knock it down lower. I called Larry Marshall. He is working with, they did the long-term testing on it. That's fine. They did the neighbor's wells. Only one well had a slight drawdown, not very big. And now he is working with the county on that. So I talked with Dan McCann on that. We're waiting to get a little bit more information. And then we would go back to B&L on possibly seeing if the state would allow us to use those wells at a substantial less cost than running out to the county land. But as it stands now, we're still progressing. We're going to do phase one out to the Du Bois Road and get that completed. If everything worked out on Du Bois, we would have the water there. If it doesn't work out in Du Bois, we would do phase two and keep on going out to the county land. Does anybody on the town board have any questions on that? Did I do it clear enough so everybody knows what we're doing? Okay, so Dan's working with B&L daily, and like I said, I talked to Jim and Larry. They both agreed that they think that there'll be two decent sized wells there, which would more than cover us for the foreseeable future. Okay, from the highway department for the month of December 2020, worked on all the trucks and equipment, did routine maintenance. We did have one storm, worked on vehicles 15, 14, 27, 9, 6, the 721 loader, and number 18 needed some routine maintenance. All the trucks were cleaned out, et cetera. We're following the COVID guidelines down there. Everybody's been given our policy, safety regulations. We gave them to Larry Marshall. I met with the Parks Department on the safety recommendations. So everybody should be following those COVID rules. I was on with County Executive Newhouse yesterday. The COVID counts for Orange County are just starting to drop a little. They spiked, they're starting to drop. We remain about the 4th or 5th lowest in the county. The last number I got yesterday was 40, whereas some of the other towns neighbor us, Waukegan and Montgomery, are in the 200 range to 250 range. So fingers crossed, we're doing a good job here in the town of Crawford, and the count is relatively low. From the Parks Department for December 2020, they repainted, removed and repainted the benches on Main Street. So they're done, Kelly. You and I, the business owners asked for that. So they're all painted, be ready to go back. They took up the Christmas wreaths. We are getting prices on replacing a few of those. They worked on the town properties, removed leaves from the parking lots and culverts, plowed snow for the one storm, removed the snow banks from down at the town parking lots, replaced the street light bulbs, cut down the dead trees at Bullville Park and the walking trail. When there's nothing to do, they're working down on 86 Main Street. They put in French doors there, worked with fixing some of the wiring, removed the dance floor, tore out the existing walls, worked on their vehicles, the excavator, the sander, the Kubota tractor. From Domini at the Town of Crawford Community Services report for January. She's working on the 2021 UFO fair. We have picked a date for it. We did move back, so we're going to go with the Labor Day weekend. She's working with the county to promote it. So it's Saturday, September 4th. and we're going to try to bring people in for tourism that whole weekend. I met with Dominique this week. It is our hopes that Main Street will be up and going sometime in April, anywhere between April 15th and May 1st. We should be open. The UFO Fair will be incorporated into the First Friday event in September, and she's meeting with the Pine Bush Chamber of Commerce First Friday Committee regarding the initial planning for First Fridays for 2021. Like I said, the continued development of small business, tourism, and event center opening is on schedule for April 2021. Booking conferences and planning for 2021. Sharing information on funding resources related to COVID-19. Working on the Taste New York marketplace. Both Dominique and myself have been in touch with Senator Scoofus' offices regarding a grant for 2021 for the Tourism Center and UFO Center. Dominique's also been working on the social media promotion and marketing of the town, the small businesses and events for the town. Like I said, as far as grants, she's been in touch with Senator Scoofus' office. I've been in touch with Senator Scoofus' office on a grant for 86 Main Street. Friendly visitor program is progressing. We're midway through coordinator training. 2 classes remain. The advisory board's main focus is outreach for volunteers and seniors. So anybody who'd like to volunteer for the friendly visitor program, it'd be greatly appreciated. Right now, she's taking calls for assistance and helping whenever we can. For this summer, it's our hope that the summer camp will be up and going. Dominique is going to run it again this year. Lance is going to help on the tourism center downtown, and Maria is going to help on the paperwork for the summer camp. And Dominique's been researching with various youth organizations regarding the program and events over here at the Pine Bush UFO Center to get some youth-focused events going down there. Okay, from Dan McCann for the month of December 2020. He's working on the TEP program. It is actually progressing, so we are making progress. We'll be having a public hearing next month on some of these things. So both that and 52 are making progress, along with the water line on 52. So it only moves so fast with the COVID, but we are definitely moving on it. We got a memo today there. Hazard mitigation, no activity. Community development, no activity. We're working, like I just said, with BNL and the New York State Environmental Facilities. Dan's keeping track of all our COVID-19 expenses and what's going on with that. And of course, he worked on the LENS program and emergency management program, Drexel Dry Culvert. And I've been in touch with Larry on the Bruin Avenue Bridge, and we have the funding figured out for that for this summer. He's going to do the Bruin Avenue Bridge. So that'll finally be open and get that out of our way. Okay, from the town clerk's department for December 2020, we received $548.51 versus $5,025.54. So we're negative $4,477 for last year. That is one of our problem areas, obviously, because nobody could meet. So we finished last year down from the prior year of $30,069.07. We took in 26,757 versus 56,826. So that'll be one of the deficits. And I'm hoping the sales tax and some of the mortgage tax definitely will come in over budget. So that'll offset some of these things. Okay, tonight we need a motion to accept the 2019 Justice Court audit. So do I have a motion and a second to approve the Justice Court audit for 2019?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Dan makes it, Kelly seconds it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I just signed the releases here. They'll be in to start this year's audits real soon here. Excuse me, Jess just told me next week. So we'll start the audits for next week. We're going to do best practices audit, and then obviously an audit of the entire town. Okay, tonight we talked to Winnie, and they have a property tax exemption for the seniors, and it has to be renewed every year. So this is the one we do every year. So it's in your package there. Whereas the state legislation requires the town assessor to grant property tax exemptions for senior citizens, disabilities, et cetera, et cetera. It's number RP 467 and 459C. So do I have a motion to approve the exemptions for 2021 for seniors? Who said that? Rory makes the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Kelly. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Mortgage tax receipts from the county clerk's office for December for the town of Crawford were $39,986. So that is a substantial number for the town of Crawford. So like I said, I'll have all the numbers together for next month's meeting so we can go through the whole budget for 2020, see where we did well and where we didn't do quite so well. I talked to Ben this week, and he recommends approving the decommissioning bonds for Savensky Solar for $429,000. So we need a motion and a second to approve that decommissioning bond. I talked to Ben, so I'll make the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from, was that Roy?
Mike.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so that's all set. Now we have, there's just a copy of the Savensky Solar Bond there. Now we have an old subdivision up on Woodside Park up there. I talked to Larry Marshall, John Colassa, and the town engineer, and John Tiroli, who originally started this. They built one house in there. It is done. Larry still had to have them do a few signs and stuff, which were done. Larry approved the drainage the way it is right now. So we have a remaining cash bond here for $26,394. So I need a motion to approve that until they can do, so they can finish up a few small things. Okay, I talked to him, so I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Dan. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and there's just paperwork back in the that number that was there that came in from Scott Quinn, and he agreed with the bond amount. Okay, let's see. Okay, we need a motion to approve for Connie the 2021 tax collector's bond. As you know, as part of our insurance policy, we have a bond on the tax collector. Each year we have one, so we need a motion to approve that 2021 tax collector bond.
So moved.
Second.
Dan makes the motion. Kelly seconds it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, let's see. Official undertaken for anybody who hasn't come in, just stop in at your convenience here and see Jessica so she can swear you in for your official undertaking. So the list, it's the elected officials, obviously, who have to come in. So some of people have already been in, others, if you can come in and get it done as soon as you can, that'd be appreciated.
And we need a motion on that.
And we need a motion on what?
A motion at the top to have them adopted.
Oh, okay. And Jessica tells me here we need a motion to adopt the resolution, the official undertaking of municipal officers in New York pursuant to Section 11 of the Public Officers Law, and the execution and sufficiency of the town's insurance program. So be it resolved, the town board of the town of Crawford hereby approves this official form of undertaking. So I need a motion to approve that.
So moved.
Make the motion.
Kelly makes it, Dan second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and every year we go out to bid to do the park bidding, which consists of the Little League fields and the Bullville fields there. The town Parks Department does the balance of the fields there. So do I have a motion to go out to bid for 2021 park mowing?
So moved.
Okay, Mike made it. I think that was Rory second.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, so we have, let's see, just gonna see which this is. This is pin number 8762.46. Oh, okay. State Route 52, pedestrian safety. Like we said, it's slowly been moving along here, but we have made progress here. So we need a resolution declaring the town of Crawford as the lead agency on the State Route 52 pedestrian safety project.
So moved.
Dan makes it. Second.
Second.
Second. Who was that, Roy?
Yes.
Roy, second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so you got that, Jess? Everybody's in favor? Okay. All right, and we need to set, next month, we're gonna have a long meeting, so we're probably gonna go earlier. We can do the State Route 52 pedestrian safety project. We'll set that for 7:30. I want to leave enough time, probably come in at 6:30 because we got to do the police reform public hearing. And we had the first meeting. It's the state's number 203, New York State Police Reform and Reinvention Collaboration. So we had the first meeting just this last Tuesday. The chief and myself formed a committee, or I formed a committee with the chief's advice. We have representation from a wide group of the town of Crawford. It's about 8 people there. We have the county on board, the DA's office on board, social services on board. We're going to schedule a second meeting in February on the 23rd for the committee. And then we'll have the public hearing, depending on how the second meeting goes, at our regular town board meeting there. I won't, I guess we better set it now just in case snow or something happens at my next committee meeting. And if we have to have another public hearing on it, we'll have another meeting that month. But it went well the other night. Most things are in offer. The DA looked at a lot of the stuff. Everything looked good. We had a few questions that were brought up by the committee. And then we're going to meet once or twice in February. We have some firemen on it. We have a school rep on it. We have the DA's office, like I said, social services. And then we have a wide range of some local town of Crawford residents are on it. We're going to add one more person, possibly 2, to the next meeting. And then we'll bring those findings into the town board, the recommendations from the committee for the town board at our next meeting or 2 meetings, depending on how much. I talked to a couple people over the last few days. They're going to send their comments into the committee, and then I welcome them to come to the town board meeting for March. So since I don't know if we're going to have one meeting or two, let's set the public hearing for the 203 New York State Police Reform and Reinvention Collaboration. Let's set that for 6:30 at our next town board meeting. So it gives us plenty of time before the meeting, or if it drags into the meeting, that's fine too, in case people want to come in. And if it's we get too many people, we'll have another meeting that month. I got to get it wrapped up though by April 1st, unless the governor extends it. He's looking for a certification that we finished the public hearing by April 1st. So that's kind of where we stand. Does the town board have any questions on it?
No.
No. Okay.
So
So
Charlie, do you want to start that meeting at 6 or 6:30?
6:30, Mike.
You can start with the public
Okay.
hearing.
Yeah, we'd start with the police public hearing for that there, and then we'd go into our meeting. We'll open up our meeting after. And I don't anticipate more than, a half hour to 45 minutes of comments. I think we got a great committee there, and the chief's done a great job, and we've addressed many of the issues that the governor is looking for there, and we got a good committee there. But if we can't get everything wrapped up at that meeting, we'll have to have one more meeting before the 1st of April.
Okay, 6:30.
Okay. Yep, 6:30 will give us that half hour to take input in from the public. So what is that date, Jess?
That's the 18th.
18th. Okay, so let's make a motion to set the public hearing for the New York State Police Reform and Reinvention Collaboration for 6:30 on the 18th, and the regular town board meeting to start immediately following that.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Dan makes that. Second by, who was that, Mike?
Yeah.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Project.
And the safety product, we did that, Jess. That
You
was,
didn't.
I didn't do the safety project?
We didn't.
Okay, and the safety project, let's go with that. Let's keep it safe. Let's go 7:30 on the 18th.
We just need-
So moved.
Okay, Dan makes the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Rory. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so we got 6:30 police, town board public hearing or town board regular meeting immediately after, and 7:30 for the pedestrian safety project. Okay, in your packages is a little bit from the Association of Towns. Obviously, we're not going to go down to New York City there, and there's a little bit, there's some training there and informational hearings there, and you guys should have that in your package to look at. So I'd imagine anybody who wants to go online can go ahead and go online. Okay, let's see. Public participation. I didn't receive any comments in at 4 o'clock. I did receive one comment before regarding the police reform. I called her back and went over the structure of it, gave her the public hearing date, and she said she'd be back in touch if she had any further questions on it. If I open up the Zoom meeting now, does anybody in the public raise their hand for the town clerk? Do they have any other questions for myself or the town board? Okay, no questions, Jess?
I don't see anybody. Nobody's raising their hand.
Okay, having received no questions, I'll make a motion to close.
I have a question. I'm sorry, it's on mute.
Oh, okay. Could you state your name for me, please?
Suzanne Schubert.
Suzanne Schubert. Yes. Okay, Suzanne, what can I answer your question?
I know that you're trying to make progress on the water system issues, and we appreciate that. What is the plan for the infrastructure, for the pipes and et cetera?
Pipes on the new line coming in?
No, the old infrastructure that bring the water lines within the hamlet. Like last week, we had a water line break and things like that. Obviously, they're 80, 90 years old, and they obviously need some attention.
Yep, the first thing we're going to address is the quality, which, you were concerned about. So we hired well, we didn't hire because we already have them. McGowan Hauser is going to first research doing the loops for them. So on a dead end there seems to be problems at dead ends. So that is the first project they're working on. Councilman Flanagan and myself also gave them another job to do, to design the green sand filter there, which would improve the quality. And the third thing we did, besides the engineer who won the bid, we have them talking to Mr. Du Bois on the new well source on Du Bois Street. So those are the first three infrastructure things that we're going to address.
But that's not going to affect the pipes, because have you looked at the condition of the pipes? Do you know what they're made out of?
Steel, 50 years old, Suzanne. So
They're ductile iron.
there you go.
What was it?
Ductile iron.
I'm sorry,
Ductile iron.
dovetailed iron?
Ductile. Ductile. Ductile iron.
Ductile iron?
Yes.
Right.
They're iron pipe with a coating on the inside.
Okay, and how old are they?
They were put in when the water system was put in.
Which is when?
I'd have to get back to you. I don't know the exact year.
Okay, if you could do that, I'd appreciate it.
They, Suzanne, they are, when they're researching the loops, we will have them take a look at that also. More importantly, I think, is to improve the quality and get the lines flushed. And they concurred with JCO that the lines have to continuously be flushed. And if we can get these dead ends out of it, out of there, they think that'll go a long way towards improving the quality. As far as your questions of doing the, if you're inferring changing all the pipes, that's not in the immediate future. There is no way that we could possibly do that nor afford that. The project on the new water source, if we can't come up with a solution and a shorter run, is $4 million, and a grant is for $2.5 million, $4.5 million, and the grant's for $2.5 million. We're $2 million in the hole there alone. I can only take a wild guess of what it would take to do each and every pipe in the hamlet. It's millions upon millions upon millions of dollars. There are 639 hookups, I believe, in the town of Crawford there. So according to the engineers, the biggest problem right now is to get them flushed. Okay. All right. Second question, we have Mr. Cambrieri wants to ask a question.
Yeah, all right, two things. One is this pedestrian project that's on Route 52. Where exactly on Route 52?
That's going to go from roughly the front of the Valley Supreme on the closest towards the old Ford garage.
Okay.
Then that'll pass Dunkin' Donuts, go by the car wash, and then there'll be a crossing there to cross by Stewart's.
Oh, finally, good.
Yes.
With this water project, is what kind of filtration, will there be any new filtration put in?
Where engineer is researching right now. Mr. Flanagan got a hold of them. They're working on it. They're working on it now. It would be a green. If we keep using the old filters, they're researching green sand filters to run the water through the green sand filters before it goes into the pipes. Out on the new one, whether it be Du Bois, we do not know as of this second if we need green sand filters out there. If we go out to the county land, yes, we will also use green sand filters.
Okay.
There is no filtration currently. There's no filtration currently.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Quick question to Suzanne, I'm sorry.
Okay.
If we're going to pay for filtration systems, I'm curious as to why we didn't consider a filtration system for the well that is on the end of Holland Avenue. The sulfur well, the Du Bois, was it not Du Bois? I'm sorry, the
DeWitt.
DeWitt well.
I can answer that, Susan.
Yep, go ahead, Dan.
So to remove iron is totally different than removing sulfur. The cost to remove the sulfur and the amount of wastewater that you would have, we would have had to put it through an RO system, reverse osmosis, and 30% of that water is waste. That's why. With green sand, that's just removing the iron that's in the water, some taste, some coloring. It's a lot easier. It's a lot less expensive. A sulfur removal system is just not cost effective.
It's going to be less expensive to hook up to new wells, run pipes to it, and add a filtration system than to filter sulfur water?
Yes, it
Okay.
would. The amount of sulfur that's in there, it's not that you filter it. You have to put a reverse osmosis system on that water to get it out, and a filtration system. It's very expensive to do that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions from the public? Okay, none being heard there, I will make a motion to adjourn the January town board meeting. We'll be back in February. I've been keeping an eye on the COVID situation. We do have public hearings, so my goal is to have a public meeting in person. The state representative's got to be here. So my goal is to have one in person. If not, we'll have another Zoom meeting like we did tonight. So I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
Second by Dan first. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, everybody stay safe. Enjoy.